on the TV side, they were showing clips from an old Ice Cube interview talking about the Jerry curls or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, he had the classic Jerry curls back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
NWA, Ready for the World, Jerry curls. You know who also had a classic Jerry curl back in the day? Prime.
Yeah, he always says it. It looks wet,
but
it
looks
dry.
wet, but it was dry. Look wet.
Look wet, but it was dry.
But it was dry. Prime had a great Jerry curl back
I don't even know what that means.
That's fine.
How white of you.
Brockman has never had activator in his life.
Man.
Never had to worry about like glycerin activator
I haven't
or
had
anything like
hair
that.
in like 25 years.
Yeah, well, and in black folks' homes, a lot of pillowcases were messed up, and couches and furniture,
pillowcases.
Yeah, back in the day, man. Drip, 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 drip,
Follow the drip. Follow the drip.
drip, follow the drip.
Can never commit no crime. All you gotta do is follow the drip.
I wonder if Tom Pelissero had a Jerry curl. He's got good hair though.
Oh, Tom's hair is.
Yeah, look at that hair right there, man.
Speaking of looks wet but is really dry, that's kind of my whole look here, Mike. I mean, look at that. You know, this is from like 8 hours ago. I've told the boys before. The secret: put a little coconut oil in there.
Coconut
stays
oil
in all day.
Man.
Always looks like you're fresh.
Tom's got a new mantra now for his hair.
What is the new mantra? What's the mantra for the hair, bro?
What looks wet?
Looks wet, really dry. Yeah, and only for the hair. Yeah,
Only for-
exactly.
I
It's
know-
up to the fellas in the studio
Tommy,
too.
Tommy,
I never noticed how white his teeth were too, man.
Oh yeah.
You get zoom, Tommy P. Look at that. Look at
that,
that.
man.
His gums are good too, man. He's got a good dental plan.
Right?
I think it's the filter. I think I'm on a filter on Zoom. I don't know, but
That
yeah,
helps,
they
man.
are looking a little whiter than normal today.
That helps right there, man.
Got a
I
face
don't know if
made
you're
for
married or
TV,
not,
baby.
man. That's what he's trying to get at. Let's talk some football. Let's talk about Prime off the bat. We was just talking about possibility of leaving Colorado, but now they got Julian Lewis there. He's going to stay there. Is there actually a market? Are there teams out there that's like, hey, you know what? We entertain Prime coming here. We heard about the Cowboys and Raiders, but is there a big market out there for teams needing a head coach that would be interested in Prime?
Well, here's what I'd say, Mikey. On average, right, we've got 7 to 8 head coaching openings in the NFL, which is a pretty good number. And there are not 7 or 8 dialed up candidates who I'm like, absolutely, that guy I think is going to get a job this year. So that does create some variance in terms of what the candidate pools are. Every team is going to have different criteria for what they're looking to hire in the process. Some are going to want experience. Some like the up and comers. Some like offense, defense. Some don't care. They just want a leader of men. All of which is to say, what we know is the Deion, Coach Prime, has won at the 2 stops that he's been. He won, in his initial stop, and now obviously at Colorado, he's managed to do the same thing amidst all the attention, much of which he brings on himself, but all the additional scrutiny that he's got. So from that perspective, and the fact that his name does still carry clout in the NFL, I think that if he were truly open to it, or depending the extent to which he pushes the idea of, only steering his son to a certain team, there would be teams potentially interested in at least having a conversation with Deion about a job. Now, my personal opinion on this is Deion Sanders is perfectly made for 2024 in college football. He's there to make money. The players, they're there to make money. Let's all make money together. We're going to compete. We're going to have fun. I'm going to get you prepared for the NFL. I'm one of the greatest to ever do it. You can recruit. The NFL is a little bit different. There's a salary cap. There's a draft. There's, tens of millions of dollars, and you're dealing with, adult men whose motivations might be a little bit different. Again, I think that one of the undersold things about Deion Sanders is the staff that he put together at Colorado. Yeah. He's got a really strong staff with a lot of NFL names. I know you guys were just talking about what they're doing defensively. Rob Livingston, who used to be the Bengals coach in the secondary, is now the defensive coordinator at Colorado, and they've been one of the best in the country this season. So all those aspects are there. If I'm Deion, I'm thinking I might be the only guy who knows how to work the system, how to win in college football over the long haul. I know he said recently he's got the kickstand down, but if he ever decides to put that thing back up, do I think that the NFL at least would have some interest in him? Absolutely, because he's something different that we really haven't seen before.
All right, we'll see what happens with Prime Time. And if he goes somewhere, if he's allowed to actually, get his son there as well, because a lot of people saying that the reason he would go to the NFL so he could draft Shedeur Sanders, and that doesn't quite work that way sometimes. Like if you're
getting hired in January, if you find out at the end of April, hey, he got drafted one spot above you, it's like you can't back out.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It don't quite work out that way.
It's a lot harder,
yeah.
Unless you were going to the team that's got the number one pick. Because listen, that back in the summer when you get all the early grades from teams, there's like a half dozen guys at that point who were like first rounders or borderline first, second round. There's not a lot of other guys who have managed to keep that type of reputation within the league right now. Shedeur Sanders, at this point, I had a lot of questions just about the entire experience with him. He's obviously a dynamic player, but he's played the best of all these guys. I don't know exactly where he's going to go. It's really early. It's November. He just accepted his invite to the East-West Shrine game, where I know they want everybody who goes to those games to play now. It might be one snap for Shedeur in that game. But, if I'm guessing right now, he certainly has a chance to be the number one overall pick, which would leave Deion exactly one place that he could go if that team's even looking for a quarterback.
All right, we'll see what happens there. Hey, the Jets need a head coach. Jets need a general manager. Jets may need a quarterback next year. What's the future look like? If you had a crystal ball right now, what's the future look like for the Jets?
There's a lot of unknown. I think that's the best way to say it, Mike. And as much as Aaron Rodgers may have contemplated the different directions this thing could go, whether he's in the darkness or, doing some of his plant medicine or whatever and thinking about all these things, the journey didn't look like this in his mind. I guarantee you that. There was no way he was fathoming being 3-8 at the bye. The head coach and GM have been fired, and we're all talking about whether or not he's going to retire after the season. Here's the hard reality for Aaron Rodgers. He turns 41 next month. And right now, not only is he not prime Aaron Rodgers, who won 4 NFL MVPs, he's not even a good NFL quarterback at this point. He has struggled. There are things happening right now, and whether it is physical, whether it is mental, whether it's the emotional toll of just this snowball rolling the wrong way, the wrong direction down the hill, Aaron Rodgers doesn't look right. And it's a hard thing for the Jets or anybody else to figure out exactly why that is. They do have him under contract for next season. They also can cut him and basically be out from under the contract immediately. For a long time, Mike, if you go back through time, Hall of Fame quarterbacks, they generally walked away. And there's a long line of this at 37 or 38 years old. Almost everybody walked at that age. There were guys like Warren Moon who played longer. Obviously, George Blanda, but he was mostly a kicker toward the end. Then Brett Favre played till 40. But Brett Favre's age 40 season was not good. He got the most durable quarterback in NFL history, got knocked out of 3 games with the Vikings after deciding to come back after that magical 2009 season, right up until he threw the interception. That's the guy that Aaron Rodgers grew up watching, and his career in so many ways, including going to the Jets at the end, has mirrored Brett Favre's career. I don't know what Aaron Rodgers' intentions are. I'm not sure anybody will fully know what his intentions are until he decides to reveal them to the world. But I think that it would be really hard right now, based on what's on tape, to find many, if any, teams going, you know what, if Aaron Rodgers does become available, I'd want that guy as my starting quarterback at age 41, 42 in 2025.
Wow, yeah, we were just discussing that Brett Favre's not, Aaron Rodgers is not that guy anymore. Maybe he's the last piece of the puzzle on a great team somewhere, but not the guy that's going to get you over the hump. I mean, not everybody has.
But is he even the last piece? That's the thing, Mike. Like, we're not talking about, is he still a top 5, top 10 quarterback? I think there's a real question of, is he one of the 32 best quarterbacks right now? I mean, statistically, you look at it and you just watch the games. He's missing throws. Again, is it in there somewhere? Maybe, but it's not coming out. And it's confounding to the people in the building. It's confounding to those of us. Listen, I covered Aaron in his early days. He's still the greatest practice player I've ever seen. He's been freaky in terms of the things that he could do, flicking the ball on the run and all that. Well, some of that got taken away in terms of just getting older, coming off the Achilles. He's not able to extend those plays. When he's done it this season, he's gotten absolutely drilled into the turf. And when he's playing from within the pocket, he's just flat missing throws that we didn't see before. Again, is that physically he's worn down? Is there some type of a mental block from the fact that, missing the entire 2023 season and then coming back and maybe not totally trusting your body? I don't know. I think that Aaron Rodgers is very much in his head. I don't think anybody else is in his head right now. he's going to have decisions to make, but the bigger decisions is for the Jets and the rest of the NFL. Do you want to bring in 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers in 2025, or does he take that out of the equation and say, you know what, no matter, what I've said in the past, like, I feel it. I wanted to give it one more run. It didn't work out, and I'm going to, I'm going to disappear into the darkness.
I think you make a really good point, both from a physical and a mental standpoint. As somebody that's had 2 Achilles injuries, obviously, and never played in the NFL as a quarterback or whatnot, but both mentally and physically, it's hard to come back after just 1 year, especially to play on that level. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that maybe his best days are definitely behind him, but I think he's still a serviceable quarterback in the National Football League with the right team in the right situation. The Jets, obviously not the right situation.
They got to bye this week, 6 weeks to go. They're still mathematically alive. If they win 6 in a row, you get to 9-8. You at least, have
Tom.
a chance.
Stop. I'm not even going to let you finish that.
Can he find it? Can he find something? Let's see. If it looks exactly the same when they come back, Mike, in week 13, I just don't know that it's there. And again, the Aaron Rodgers experience is something that, the Jets were going along with right up until, the point at which he wasn't able to, to play at the same level anymore. Is another team going to want to go down that road? There may be a situation out there. If he wants to play, he's a Hall of Famer. He's got 4 NFL MVPs. I just don't know really what you're getting at this point or what type of team is going, we want to bring all that onto our roster right now.
Well, maybe Woody Johnson should coach the team too, because he wanted to bench him after 4 games, according to the reports out there. So who knows? But
that's a whole other thing with, listen, Woody's the owner of the team. He's allowed to ask questions. There's a lot of times in meetings where he's asking, hard questions of people or challenging people's perceptions here, but this was not like an out of the ordinary type of a thing. Woody has a lot of meetings. The fact that he's having a meeting with his coordinators the day after a loss, that's unusual. These are all questions as they're searching for a GM and a head coach that people are going to have about just the environment in the building. Woody quite possibly will not be in the building much come 2025 if he rejoins the incoming presidential administration, because he was the ambassador of the UK back in Trump's first stint as the president. So there's a lot of moving parts for the Jets at every level right now. His brother, Christopher Johnson, when he was running the team, did by all accounts a really good job. He's a very different personality than Woody Johnson, but we have to see how some of those things play out. But yeah, I mean, if they're, beginning a GM search right now and then a head coaching search, one of the first questions is, what's happening with Aaron? And, again, a lot of things can happen. We've seen stranger things in this league, but it's hard to imagine that plan A right now is, we're going to run it back again.
All right, enough of the mess. Let's talk about some other quarterback situations quickly, running through. Giants make the switch from Daniel Jones. They go to Tommy DeVito. Why not Locke? Can you just say that they're trying to tank? Can you just tell me that as a Giants fan that this team is just trying to tank?
I truly don't think that that's what it is. I think that, listen, they had to do something. Okay, Daniel Jones, since the start of 2023, was 3-13 as the starting quarterback. We can talk about the injury guarantee and $23 million. All that's a function of sending him to the bench, right, and demoting him all the way to 3rd, maybe 4th string, depending how they end up scoring things out this week with Tim Boyle now joining the practice squad here. But the reality is they weren't good enough. Like when they say it's a football decision, it was. They've stunk with Daniel Jones as their starting quarterback, and they've been trying to draw everything out of him here. But then they had to make a move. With Drew Lock, he has played some good football. I mean, he started off hot, way back his rookie year in Denver. He's had a few opportunities. He played well when he took over for Geno last year briefly with the Seahawks, but he hasn't had a lot of reps in the system. He got hurt early on in training camp. Maybe it was the preseason opener, and then missed a lot of reps. So he just hasn't had a lot of time on task in the system. Tommy DeVito, they signed him for a $10,000 bonus back in April of 2023.
Great story.
He's earned every opportunity that he's gotten. And when he got to play, they were 3-3 with him as the starting quarterback. I also really do believe, and again, these are football decisions, but who's going to buy you more time at MetLife Stadium before the fans get down your throats, Drew Lock or Tommy DeVito? With Tommy Cutlets in there, the building wants him to succeed for so many different reasons. They think, hey, we can win. This is our guy. He's from in our backyard, a good Italian boy from the neighborhood. He can get this thing done. Drew Lock's a really talented guy. If Drew Lock threw an incompletion on 3rd down on the first series, he's getting booed. They're all getting booed. Tommy DeVito probably gets booed too, but probably he has a little bit more time here. It adds a different storyline. It adds a different juice. They're betting on all that, trying to find a spark. And they're another team that's just trying to stay semi-relevant, keep players engaged, because they do have a lot of young talent on that team. They got to find ways to get the ball to like some Malik neighbors.
All right, see if he gets the ball to Malik neighbors. Then let's see what happens there. Hey. Quickly,
right,
some quarterback injuries.
We'll accept that.
Hey,
impression.
Tommy Pelissero.
I don't know how I
Okay.
feel on that one, but
I'm sorry,
we'll
Tom.
let it
Tom, I
slide.
don't
The black
co-sign
Italian, I want some spaghetti. You want to put some Lowry's in my spaghetti? No, don't do that.
Please
Okay,
don't,
I'm
because
sorry.
if he comes back with something, then
That's
it's gonna
wrong.
go off the
Oh,
rails.
yeah.
It's gonna go off the rails.
Yeah. I'll let Tommy P though. I think Tommy P got a little something. I told him he can come to the cookout too.
Oh, me,
Tom
that's
P.
my man right
Tom
there.
P,
Tom
yeah.
already knows he's good.
Tom P. Okay. Quickly, quarterback injuries. Give me an update on Brock Purdy and Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, Brock Purdy, from everything I've been told, should be fine for this game on Sunday against the Packers. He's got a sore shoulder. I know he dove. I'm not sure if that's the play, but he dove for the pylon in a game last week. Might have landed on it a little bit, but it's not anything that's like a major injury. They want to ease off him in terms of reps through the week, so didn't throw a whole lot in practice yesterday. I fully anticipate, barring some type of a setback or surprise, which sometimes can happen with throwing shoulders, I believe he'll be in the lineup against the Packers. With Jalen Hurts, this is kind of a unique thing because he had a rest day before their last game, and then Nick Sirianni said in a press conference, oh, it's the ankle, but the ankle wasn't on the injury reports. Then it was, no, it's rest. Now they've kind of found the in-between, which is, well, he is resting the ankle. Jalen Hurts said that this is all part of the plan and the program that they've got him on to, continue to build strength and be ready for the long haul here. Whatever it is, he's been playing on it. He's going to continue to play on it. And that Eagles offense that, people were poking so many holes in early in the season, and based on how it functioned down the stretch, they're tough, man. I was at that game in Cincinnati where it was tied late in the third quarter, and then they kind of poured it on. That's where you saw with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith back, they got the explosive passing game going again. They got a guy in Kellen Moore as the OC who's long been known as a pass game guy. All of a sudden, he's on the team that leads the NFL in rushing attempts. They've found a really cool balance. They've got a really talented roster there. So obviously he's managing something. Again, another guy who it's been reiterated to me over and over. He's fine. It's not a big deal. So fully anticipate that he's out there.
Man, this is how quickly people turn things around in the NFL. 6 weeks ago, people have given up on the Eagles. They were going through all the injuries with Brown and whatnot. And, oh, man, Sirianni's in trouble. And now one of the top 5 teams in the NFL, man. Just stick with your team sometimes. Just stick with it. Tommy P.
Especially the Eagles, man.
That's the Eagles. That's the
They
Philadelphia
figure it out.
fans. Tommy P, a great NFL insider and also a man with great hair who should be in the Head and Shoulder commercials with Patrick Mahomes and Troy Polamalu. Let's make it happen.
We co-signed
I'll
that.
pop up on Patrick's other shoulder. And Polamalu's over here. We'll get me over here for Patrick. I like it. I like
Did you just give me blue steel with your look? You just can't kind of get the okay, all right. I like it. Okay. Tommy P, always good seeing you, my brother.
All right, Tommy.
Thanks, Mike.
See you, buddy.
Thanks, fellas.
Tommy Pelissero right there.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.